I'm going to show you guys how to use tracking data in Mocha. So the first thing you're going to do when you open up your project is that you'll see two things. You'll have a video file of some mimes talking to the camera, and we have a tile of a chain link fence. And ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to apply the tracking data to the chain link fence so that it moves with the handheld camera. So the first thing we want to do is create that tracking data. So select the mimes layer and go animation, track in Mocha. And we're going to click on the icon and that will open it up and start. And we'll just play through the footage. It's just scrubbing back and forth on what we've been doing. And I'm going to bring us back to the very beginning. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to tell it what kind of motion we want to track. We want it to track transformation, scale, and rotation. Then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to choose this B-spline, and we are going to make a rectangle around these trees back here, because the mimes are moving back and forth and front and back sideways, but the trees basically always stay the same distance from the camera. And so we're going to give that information to the fence in the foreground, and so the mimes are free to do what it is they want to do, and we'll just apply that later. So now we're going to just go, so by creating this we've created our first keyframe, and so now we'll just go down one by one, and what we want to do is we want to tug this back because we want to capture this tree in all of our data. And let's go backwards and make sure it's all in there. Yep. So let's keep going down forward until it leaves again, and we'll set it up like that. And now we'll go backwards and see what needs to get fixed. We don't want those hands to interfere with our tracking data because we want it just to be the trees. Okay, so that's good. So now we can keep going down. We need to keep all those trees in, and we don't want to make sure that this hat stays out. So we'll go down and we'll stretch out our tracking data again. Let's go backwards and see if we have to do any nudges. Nope, that looks all good. Oops. We'll go down farther. We don't want this guy to get caught in our data, and we want to make sure that our trees stay in here. So let's go backwards and make sure that it's all good there, which it is. We'll kind of go into our guy again, and we will get him out of the data, and we will bring our trees back in and go backwards. Okay, that looks good. And then we'll go to our final frame. And reset our last points. And we'll go backwards. Okay, and now just going back and forth. All that tree information is where we want it to be. So I'm going to click us all the way back to the beginning. And I'm going to tell it to track the data going forward. Okay, So now it's track that data. We can close this and save it. And then we can open up tracking data here. And now we will tell it to create the tracking data. And we will asterisk layer 1, which is the layer we are on. And when we scroll down, we see that in our tracking data, we've got a whole bunch of tracking data. We've got corner pin information, which we don't necessarily need. What we really want is this position, this in center, and the rotation. So let's go ahead and delete that information. Let's copy the center information, and I'm going to select that. I'm going to hit Command C. We'll create a null layer object. Just put that to the top. We will name it tracking data. We'll select position and hit Command V to paste, but we need to have our playhead be at the beginning. Paste, and then I'll put it right where that is, and we will take our rotation information, Command C to copy that, put that on rotation, and Command V to paste. Now we're going to take the pick whip from our chain link tile, and we are going to connect it to our tile. And what we want to do, and so we see that the tile is moving with the tracking data, so that's good. So now what we have to do is make our tile bigger. So I'm going to click on our tile. I'm going to look for motion tile. We're going to add that, and we'll just make our output width 1000 and our output height 1000. And now we'll see what we got. And now we see that the tile is moving with the camera, and it looks very believable. Now we want to just add a camera blur. We'll take camera lens blur, and we're going to add that to the chain link. And that's a little too soft, so let's back it off to 3. Let's see what 2 looks like. Alright, so that's without the blur, with the blur. And go ahead and render that and post it on Canvas.